meets Rockland. I'm in Austin. My co-host normally, who's predisposed at the moment, is in Rockland County, New York, hence the name of the podcast. We were bandmates, and we decided during the pandemic to keep in touch, and we started using Zoom to have some connection to each other. And with all the negativity in the world, we decided as musicians to promote our music, our friends' music, and artists that we like, and new and upcoming artists. So here we go. We have some new upcoming artists. I'd like to welcome the RocklandSound, Tempt.
What's up?
Hello. Thank you for being here. Now, who do we have today? I see Harrison up there.
I'm Harrison, and it's just me today.
In front of me. Oh, just you. Okay.
Just me. The other guys, I'll just shout them out. Zach, our vocalist, Nick, our drummer, Chris, our bass player, and I'm the guitar player.
All right. Well, hi to everybody out there. This is a good thing. So Harrison, basically give me a little bit about you first, because you're here. All right. So what I'll do is we have a question that we like to ask. I know, Jamie, it's not exclusive to us, but I'm claiming it, which I'll get to in a minute. So basically, tell me about growing up and how you got into music, and then I'll ask the question, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think my parents were both musicians, and I started off with playing piano for most of my early childhood.
Okay.
It wasn't until I was about 10 or so that I started playing guitar, and that was basically just basic, like party songs, like going to a party I wasn't going to parties at 10, but summer camp songs, strumming, Wonderwall or something on the guitar, songs everyone can sing. And I wasn't that seriously into it. It was just something I was like, okay, I can play a few chords, I can, make people happy. And then coming home one night, coming home from summer camp, my dad had in the car the Ozzy Osbourne, Randy Rhoads live tribute record.
Tribute, yes.
Which is, the best Randy Rhoads playing is on the record. And that just blew my mind. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And that was when so that was around 12 years old or 11. I can't exactly remember. That's when I really said to myself, I got to go home and figure out how to do this stuff. And I got to take the time to learn how to do this. So that it was from that moment on that I kind of catapulted me into seriously wanting to pursue playing guitar and writing music, and the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, us musicians, we have those stories. Mine, sad day, year anniversary of Eddie dying yesterday, and that was it for me. That and Kiss, and it wasn't Makeup Kiss; it was Heaven's on Fire Kiss. Those two events, hearing Van Halen on the radio, and then basically mocked hearing my mother in a grocery store that sold cassettes to get her to let me have Van Halen 1 and 2. And she didn't give you things too easy. You had to earn it. But I broke her that day just because I put on the act real good. And she was like, all right, fine, shut up. So those are mine, So here's what I'll do. So you obviously said you had music around you and all that. So here's the question I like to ask. What was the first album? Now you were probably surrounded with music, family or whatever, radio, MTV, everything. What was that first album though that you just had to get, that if you saved your lunch money or a job you had or whatever, and you had to go out and get it when it came out?
Well, what's sad is that I'm too young to really have been in like CD buying. From all I can remember is I've always had an iPod.
See, now we're running in that when I interview younger artists.
But luckily for me, my parents and my dad especially have had a massive CD collection, and my dad has always been like great with computers and stuff, even from even in the 90s and when they were still a new thing. So he had already, like early 2000s, had uploaded all the CDs and ripped them onto the computer. And so my iPod just always had kind of whatever was dumped into our family shared iTunes. So I had like so much music that I could explore.
Well, let me interrupt you for a second, then let me amend this question then.
Okay.
And to make it fit where I can ask, what was the band that was in that collection that you went and you went real hard deep where you had to hear everything? Okay, so that was the one band you singled out and focused, or multiple bands that you singled out and focused deep.
I would say that would have to be Def Leppard. Hysteria record did that for me, because that was the first time, I'd been listening to a bunch of records, like I said, after I'd kind of gotten into playing, everything like Van Halen. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of them. All that stuff came naturally. I was listening to a lot of David Bowie records at the time.
Great.
Earl Slick is a great guitar player, and a lot of Rush. I'm a huge Rush fan. But when I listened to Hysteria by Def Leppard, that was the first time that I kind of really got into the concept of like, well, how is this made? And and going on the internet and the legends of Mutt Lange and the production and this, that, and the other thing. So that was what really piqued my interest more into, instead of just listening to something because I thought the guitar was cool and I was a guitar player, it was listening to something for how do I write a song like this? Like, these are such great songs. How do I, produce something? What was the process into making that? So I would say that album, because that really was what got me past just being a guitar player as kind of a hobbyist and just something that I did in my room, into somewhere I wanted to learn how to record. And so I started using Pro Tools at an early age and all that kind of stuff. So that, which now with, it was already going that way when I was a kid, but now it's like, some of the best, Grammy winning records are made in people's bedrooms now. That's how good, Pro Tools and DAWs are. So it's an invaluable skill to have. And and that record really kind of forced me early on when I was young to figure that stuff out, and start just recording my own tracks and figuring out how to record drums and vocals and all that.
Well, so, see, if you want to get into like Mutt Lange, good thing you have Pro Tools. Because back when I grew up, I was using an old little 4-track, and you weren't putting 120 guitar tracks on that without blowing that thing up. So
that was like when I was, remember when I was like, it was a few days ago or something that was reverse. I've had this thought a lot when I'm working in Pro Tools, but I was like reversing vocals or something. I'm like, God, I'm so glad I can just, go to the toolbar and just click, reverse and then render it, instead of having to, take a tape machine, cut out pieces of tape, put it in backwards, record it again. So, yeah.
Absolutely there. One of the cool things about him is I dug deep into getting in him because I was into Def Leppard as well. And Hysteria blew my mind because I had the few albums before them and they didn't really click with me so much. I mean, songs did, but not the whole record, and I was a record listener at the time. And then when you hit that, it changed the sound. And I noticed even if you go all the way out to Bryan Adams, which he produced, and Shania Twain, who he was married to, and then you even go out to listening to Nickelback. If you listen to like some of the was that song Something in Your Mouth?
I love that song.
But if you hear the Def Leppard is right there.
The snare drum is the same snare drum from Hysteria. It's literally like the same sound.
And it comes in the one ballad later on. It's the same Hysteria beat. But when they do that woman.
Yeah. Well, because that's him, his voice is so unique and he's always singing backgrounds and all this. Well, it's interesting you say that because it's like, Hysteria is kind of like the culmination of where he kind of like he always making great records, like he did the Foreigner record before that, and the Cars record, and AC/DC obviously, but it was like that album is where he kind of just like finally for himself, it seems like, hit his stride. And then everything that comes after that, it's like you can tell like he's locked into that same kind of sound. The production, in the elements change. Obviously Nickelback and Shania Twain don't sound the same, but you can still find those bits and pieces of like whether it's the drums or the background vocals or even just like the guitar lines that are always happening in the pre-chorus and chorus. It's anything he produces I listen to. It doesn't matter what genre it is.
There's great things he does where you'll just have a guitar part in the background fade in and it's just somebody just picking one note, not even moving it, and then it goes away and you never hear it again.
Exactly.
It's like, wait, you're waiting for it again, it's gone. So but we're talking about them. Let's talk about you guys. So give us a history of all right, so you're progressing, you're learning Pro Tools, you're getting into that. How about bumping in I assume you had some bands maybe or maybe not before these guys, or did you know each other in school?
Yeah.
Before?
So it's a kind of an interesting story. I've actually never been in another band. I've played, I played like one-off shows with people, and then did talent show in high school and that kind of thing. But actually, this is still my first band. And Zach was, I went to school for classical music in Boston at Boston Conservatory, and Zach was working with a songwriter at the same time I had just gone to school my freshman year. And basically he told him, you have to find your kind of axe man that's going to be your songwriting partner, like your Richie Sambora, your John Bon Jovi, or your Neil Sean, your Steve Perry, name the group. So Jimmy Page rock, it's like, that's like such a classic rock thing. It's like the guitar player and the front man.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he and he actually found me on YouTube, believe it or not. So he saw a cover I did on YouTube, just kind of hit me up, and it turned out we both were New York City natives. I lived on the Upper West Side, he lived on the Upper East Side, and we just connected and we hit it off right away. It took a little bit of time because I was in school and he went to school as well. So we were kind of like, all our attention can be focused on the band. We were kind of playing one-off shows here and there with some other members who were kind of just stand-ins. And it wasn't until I graduated from college that we said, okay, let's seriously pursue this thing. We think we have a good thing here. We're a good songwriting team. And that's when we found Nick and Chris, who just completely completed the picture. And it's still amazed me to this day that like we found each other, because I couldn't ask for like a more perfect group of guys to be with. It's awesome.
That's great. So now, what year are we talking that we're in? What range of time are we talking in year wise?
So, I mean, this would have been Zach and I were kind of, I was in college from 2012 to 2016. So it wasn't until 2016 that when I got out of school that I really decided, okay, let's pursue the band seriously. And it took us a few years to get Nick and Chris both together in the band, but eventually it happened. So we've been playing, with each other for about 4 years, I'd say, which really is like only 2, because COVID, I don't really count the 2 COVID years that no one's been doing anything. But yeah, it's been about 4 years since we've all been together, I think.
But here's the thing. As a songwriter myself, I'm laying on any band out there that is serious. If you have all that time off with COVID, you better not make a bad record.
Yeah, it's funny because we actually finished the master of our record that Living Dangerous is off of in May of 2020. So we were working on the record all the way, finishing it up all the way till COVID time. It gets mastered like a month after the lockdowns. And at that point I was like, okay, we just finished the song. There's lockdowns. I'm going to enjoy the summer. I was down at the Jersey Shore. I was like, I'm not writing music for months. So thinking this, would all blow over in like a few weeks. Finally, after we kind of like, because you put so much work in that, I was like, we need creative, just wipe the slate clean. But since like about
use Wildwood to clean your mind out.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, that works.
That's my whole foundation.
I was in Long Beach Island, actually.
Long Beach Island there. Yep. My uncle used to take us there.
Yeah. But then we've been writing now. We almost have another record done, basically. So
cool.
Hopefully what will happen is we got this record coming out in a few months, tour. Next year we'll basically have the other record just ready to go. And then
the videos that I was watching and getting into and digging, those are off the first album that are up on YouTube.
The Under My Skin video is off the first record, and a lot of the stuff we have on our YouTube that's live is going to be on the new record. And the Living Dangerous video, which is on Better Noise Music, our labels page, that's obviously going to be on the record.
Right. Yeah. No, great stuff. It was great stuff. I'm like I said, I love anything that's like edgy. It's got its meat and potatoes in there, and the guitars aren't. There's a lot of melodic rock bands that they put the guitars in the background.
Yeah.
Where yours are up there and form that foundation of a solid groove. And the famous line by Bon Jovi, "Don't bore us, get to the chorus." You definitely have that going on, because I was driving in my car before when I was listening to your stuff, and I was singing along. So anything that grabs you like that is some solid songwriting. So now,
That's I'm about that philosophy too.
yeah, no, absolutely. You sit there. I mean, there are great bands. You can listen to a Sabbath album and realize it's just verses
Yeah.
and a lot of jamming, but you don't miss the hook. And then Paranoid never even says the word paranoid in it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a pre-chorus and a verse, and we're out. So, but I'm really enjoying this. Now, as far as are you basically going with the new record? Basically the same type of vibe, or you shifting it around, and maybe with the time off you tried something new?
Well, I think we're always trying stuff like new things. Actually, when the full record comes out, there's a lot of songs that the vision and the artistry in terms of what we want to create is, I think, always been very consistent. But we tried a lot of new stuff on this record that's about to come out as well, and I'm really excited for people to hear kind of the things that we experimented with. As much as we love the 70s and 80s and the classic rock, that's already been done. We don't want to recreate that, so we really are always trying to find ways to bring rock and fun rock, like those classic rock greats and the true rock stars were, bring that into the modern paradigm. And because we listen to all types of music, we listen to everything from The Weeknd to MGMT to Miley Cyrus. I'm always listening to new music for production.
Oh no, you
So,
have keep up in there.
yeah, so we're trying to bring rock, and that kind of fun rock that appeals to guys and girls that we love. That's about elevating life, and it's just kind of fun and epic. We're trying to bring that into the modern fold now, because we don't think many people are doing that. So everything's either kind of too heavy or too soft.
There's the middle ground there that is, I will say it takes talent to find it. Now, as far as shows go, you have anything that's set up as far as getting on a tour, or you just playing out there on your own with like maybe another newer band?
Yeah, it's the touring situation has been hard for us because of what's been going on with COVID. A lot of these bigger acts, it's like they're out for a week and then a roadie gets COVID, and they're not playing for a week. It's canceled, the shows, and then they're playing, and then the next week they're playing again, and it's kind of so it looks like things are starting to get better in terms of that. But as a baby band, basically, which we are, I mean, we have the Runaway record, but this is really our first record with everyone in the band.
Mhm.
It's something like that would be, would be financially tough on us if we invested all that money to go out on the road with a band, and then COVID happened, and then we have to, take a week or two off, and who knows where we are, we might have to fly. So it's been tough, but the touring, I will say, what I can say is that the touring, there is the silver lining on the horizon. We have some touring that will happen soon in the next few months. So just all our social media is just Tempt Band. We're on everything: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. So to find out all that stuff, we post it up there. We interact with you, send us a message, but that's kind of the best way to find it. So I can't say anything specific, but we will be touring soon, and we're very excited to do that.
I think we covered everything right now.
Cool.
Anything you want to say to the fans out there and the new fans that are going to be checking you out on Rockland Sound?
Just stay with us. We know it's kind of been a crazy time, but a lot of our fans know that they've been waiting for this record now for 2 years, because they knew we were finishing it and we was supposed to be out, but COVID has delayed it. So the whole thing will be out very soon. The wait is over. Just a few more months to go here. Thanks everyone for supporting us, and new fans, please check us out on all our stuff. Check us out on Spotify. And we have a bunch of cool stuff on our YouTube too, from covers to behind the scenes stuff. So just definitely give everything a look over. We think you'll enjoy it.
Well, Harrison Marcello, I pronounced that right?
Yes.
All right. From Tempt. I enjoyed this. Hopefully we can have you back when you get back out there, and and continue this relationship, because I think you're going to go far, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be able to speak with you today.
Thank you, man. This was great.
All right. You have a great time. You have a great, good luck out there with everything. And we'll speak soon.
Have a good one.
All right. Have a good night.